Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Hello, this is the Italian Wine Podcast. My name is Monty Waldin. My guest today is Angelo Fongoli of the Fongoli Winery in Montefalco in Umbria. Welcome, Angelo.
Hi.
So just give me a little bit of history about the estate. Obviously a family estate, the Fongoli family. Are you a long-term Umbrian family, or did you come
Yes.
from... Yeah?
Yes.
How many generations?
I don't know exactly, but many times.
Before records were kept. Okay.
Yes.
So, and who runs the estate? Obviously it's you. Do you have brothers, sisters, father, grandmother?
Now I'm working with my wife.
Okay, and what's she called?
Okay, Letizia.
And is she Umbra? She from
Yes,
Umbria?
yes, she's from Spoleto.
So how big is the Fongoli vineyard?
We have 20 hectares of vineyards. Also we have olive groves, a little bit of forest, 40 hectares.
In total?
Yes.
That's quite nice.
Yes.
So, and in the forest, do you have any wild animals? You have boar?
Actually, we don't have caprioli, this kind, because we are in the hills. We are not in the mountains.
So what's
in the
your
center of
altitude?
Italy. 300 meters.
Did you take over from your father and mother? How did you become head of the winery?
My grandparents both has got a winery. So now I'm working in the winery of Montefalco.
Okay.
The other one, it was in Rimini.
Oh,
in
really?
Emilia-Romagna.
On the Adriatic coast?
Yes.
So they had a winery in Rimini, and then did they sell that, or how did they come from Rimini to Umbria?
No. The father of my father was from Montefalco, Umbria.
Okay.
My father was Umbrian, and my mother was from Rimini. Okay, I grew up here, so now I work in Montefalco.
Okay, so tell me a bit more about the vineyard. You have 20 hectares?
Yes.
And in terms of your management, are you organic, biodynamic, conventional?
We started with organic work in 2011, and after 2 years we worked in biodynamic.
Really?
Yes. Now all the farm is biodynamic, olive groves and vineyards. We work completely without chemical products.
Why did you decide to go biodynamic? Did you taste some biodynamic wines you liked, or you just
No.
like the weird philosophy? Or
Really, at that time, I didn't like so much the pure biodynamic wines because sometimes they are a little bit strange in the taste and not completely friendly for all the people. And this is a little bit a problem. I'd like to promote the very traditional style of the wines, the Umbrian wines of 2-3 generations ago.
so when you say you like the old traditional style, what do you mean by that? You mean wines that were very elegant, not too heavy?
First, biodynamic view is the view to make this original style of wines, in my opinion. Now I want also produce very, very cleaned wines, very straight style wines, and we work for this. Since the beginning we started to produce cleaned wines in the smell, in the taste, so we started with the sweet Sagrantino because it is the easiest to make natural, because the tannins, the alcohol protect naturally the wine. After the dry Sagrantino, and at the end the white wines.
What difference have you seen in your vines since going biodynamic? What difference is there in the soil?
First we work in the soil, okay, and after in the second layer in the vines. All the work starts in the soil. At the beginning, a very deep impact to the vines. Okay, so it was difficult, and this is the problem because many start and stop the work at the beginning because
it's too difficult.
The beginning is very, very difficult. Very less production in the grape, and I was a little bit scared. With the time, the production increased a little bit. Now we produce less than standard production, but it's good for us. But the quality of the grape increased. We didn't have no more fungus in the grapes, in the leaves. We we saw the good condition, the good life of the vines and of the grape, the quality of the grape. Now we are a family business, so we don't need a lot of grape. We need a very high quality grape and to produce traditional style wine, okay, without selected yeast or any sort of enologist product in the wine.
Do you think the wines are more savoury?
Especially our white wines are very, very sapid.
So tell me about your white wines. Which grape varieties do you have?
We have Grechetto and Trebbiano Spoletino.
And what's the difference between the two in terms of flavour, texture?
Trebbiano Spoletino is more complex in the flavors, also in the structure. Grechetto now is a little bit easier to drink and more understandable for many kinds of people.
Yeah.
Okay. The Trebbiano Spoletino, in fact, with the Trebbiano Spoletino, we produce three kinds of wines: white vinification, the red vinification, which means
on the skins.
Yes, and also the second fermentation in the bottle.
So a sparkling wine.
Yes, but fermented in bottle.
So traditional method, just like champagne.
Yes, and so because it's very complex, very interesting in the smell, is the fermentation, the production is very good. If the work is
the work is done well in the
vineyard and also in the cellar.
And let's now we talk about Sagrantino. When you talk about a change in texture in your wine since you've gone biodynamic, what about for the Sagrantino? What difference does the biodynamics make? Because Sagrantino can be quite difficult to ripen, can have quite aggressive tannin. Have you noticed any difference with biodynamics that are to do with biodynamics, and not because with organic and biodynamic farming you have a lower yield? Mm-hmm. What do you think the biodynamics does to the Sagrantino?
The problem is not the tannins, because our work in the cellar, all the aging in big barrels with old wood, make a good selection of the tannins. So since the past we didn't have any problem with the tannins. Mm-hmm. Our Sagrantino is very velvet round, and many people who taste Sagrantino discover a new kind of Sagrantino, well balanced and round. But with the biodynamic work, we increased the complexity of the smell, because we can bring to the cellar more natural yeast, and so they are different in the different vineyards. So we can produce more complex smell. With the less production we have a good structure of the wine, but this is not a problem in all Sagrantino, so they have structure.
Yeah, what you should do is get the University of Perugia to come and analyse change in microbiology in your vineyards to show that there really is a difference in terms of microflora, particularly the yeast. Have you done that?
No, because we are a family business.
Get them to come.
Yes.
Get the Italian state to pay, or the regional government, to see what the effects are with these yeasts.
In effect, we are in the Vinnature Association of
Association of Italian Wineries Working Naturally.
Yes, and they are making scientific tests on the natural vineyards, and they can know with a specific new kind of test the life in the vineyards. Okay, so they can know if you really work right in the natural view. Okay, the association can know if you work right. The work in the future will be taste if the single cellar work right, and if they can be in the association in the vineyards.
That's Angelino Maule, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Vinnature is an association of Italian wine producers that work naturally. They could be organic, biodynamic, certified, or with no certification. And to make sure nobody's cheating, what Angelo is saying is the wines are analysed, and so if there are any residues in there, pesticide residue or herbicide residue, the association will know this, and they will just quietly ask the winery to leave. But the plus side of this, as he was saying, is that you get a lot more scientific information about natural yeast in the vineyard.
Because it's possible to know if you use chemical products, because there is something in the grape, something in the leaves, but till now it was difficult to know if the work natural is good, because you have to balance the natural life in the vineyards. You have to increase the biodiversity in the vineyards. Now we are working with the Sagrantino also in the terracotta beds, because we in 2009 we started with this work in little quantity to try to discover the difference from the wood fermentation. So we can keep 3 months, actually we keep 3 months of skin contact during and after the fermentation, so we can extract more from the skins of Sagrantino. And after we age the wine in wood.
Sometimes when we talk about wines made in amphora and doing biodynamics, sometimes the wines can be very different tasting, a little bit sort of funky, farmyardy, animal-like. How would you describe your wine style?
We like in the white wines, we don't want the hard smell from the animal smell and sometimes the typical smell of the Sagrantino green
taste and horsey smells.
Okay, yes.
Everybody talks about Sagrantino being a very tannic grape. Do you think biodynamic practices help make a Sagrantino which is a little bit softer? Is it easier to extract the tannin? Are the pips a little bit riper?
The important is make good tannins, because Sagrantino is tannic, okay, and there is not Sagrantino without tannins. So the problem is make round velvet and well balanced tannins.
So how does biodynamics or other practices in the vineyard, how do you get those nice juicy tannins rather than the hard tannins? What are you doing in the vineyard?
We don't work in the vineyards to make more velvet tannins. I think this is not possible. We work to make a well balanced vines so they can produce the right quantity of grape they can do. So in the vineyards all the vines are different. We grow all the single vines like a person, person. Okay.
Each vine is seen to be different.
So we work in the single vines and we work in the soil, deeper in the soil, increase the humus, the structure of the soil.
How do you do that? Is that with cover crops, soveshi?
Yes, we work first deeper in the soil, and after we sow many different kinds of grass, and after we cover the grass to increase the humus and nitrogen.
So what plants are you using? You're using, when you sow a soveshi or a cover crop between the rows, which plants are you sowing? What seeds are you sowing?
Pisello proteico,
peas,
fava,
beans, which provide nitrogen,
rafano,
which is like a radish, which is very good at disinfecting the soil.
Yes.
And also has a root that punches a hole in the soil, which allows rainwater to penetrate and stay there.
Vetch,
which is another legume, which is a nitrogen-forming plant, which makes a nice massive vegetation, which you can cut or roll and would also slowly decompose. Next,
many different kind of mixed fiore,
flowers to provide not colour as well as pollen for beneficial insects.
So they increase the biodiversity during their life, for the insect life, for many different kind of life in the soil and over.
Can tourists come and visit you?
Yes, yes.
Do they like to see the flowers and the green
yes,
plants between the vineyard, or do they say, your vineyard looks untidy?
Because we must explain how the vineyards looks a little bit different. At the beginning we show our oldest vineyards. Sometimes they ask why we keep these old vines, because it's a different view. We explain the work, the style, because if you read something about the vineyards, it's completely different. All for the book is a completely different view, but we can explain with the logic understandable for all our work. So every vines are different.
So each like vine is treated as an individual vine rather than as a whole. You really try to individualize everything to get more complexity into your wine. Yeah. Basically, it looks like the vineyard looks like it was made in a factory. Every vine looks exactly the same.
Yes.
Every vineyard is the same. No weeds.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that with your vineyard, everything becomes a bit more untidy in a certain way. It's a little bit more chaotic, but there's a reason behind that, because the cover crops that you sow, colour of the vineyard changes, the smell of the vineyard changes, and each plant then each vine can be an individual, express itself as an individual.
The nature is chaotic. There is not exist nature
in straight lines. You say nature doesn't work in straight lines.
But the important is the wine we made are cleaned. It's because some producers produce strange kind of wines, but we can work to produce good wines.
What you're saying is you even though you're biodynamic and your vineyards are full of flowers and look a bit chaotic, what you want to make is a wine that's clean and clear. You don't really want to make a wine that is very, how can we say it politely, very, very natural in the negative sense, where it's very funky and stinky. Yes. Okay, brilliant. Angelo Fongoli, thanks very much for coming today on the Italian Wine Podcast. You've probably got one of the most beautiful vineyards in the area with all these wild flowers all over the place. I do hope the people that come and visit you will learn to appreciate them. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Follow Italian Wine Podcast on Facebook and Instagram.